In Your Howse with O'Con. Hey, O'Con, in your house. Hollywood in your house. Hypocrisy's head in the clouds. Curating all kind of loud. Wrestling in front of the crowds. Paragon's holding it down. Anybody can get it. Josh Joseph standing on his decisions. He is the voice. There is no choice. We is them boys in your house making wrestling noise. Moving fast, it's like cruiserweight action. In your house is the perfect distraction. Pumpers in your ears when you in traction. Get this work with some wrestling action. Smoke.
What's up, guys? What's cracking? The comment, and I'm in your house. We here. We're ready to make a movie. I hope you guys are ready to make a movie. I hope you guys are with the shits, because hey, we're with the shits. And we're ready to talk a little wrestling. That's right, you already know the vibes. Anytime we slide on through, we're here to give you that work when it comes to this professional wrestling business. And guys, that is exactly what we have been giving y'all this entire week. I mean, we've been hitting y'all with work. We had the Window Lickers Raw preview review show. Then we had Hype's Smoke Sesh on Tuesday. Wednesday, we had the Raw deal with House and O'Neal, and it does not stop. I mean, we still have an ECW watch-along that myself and the voice, Josh Joseph, are going to be giving you a little bit later on this evening, and also Grundmeister's Room, the SmackDown preview review show. But now, right now, we have to conclude our amazing interview series that we've been giving you guys. And my God, what an interview series it's been. Eric Dillinger, Misa Kate, Big Zoe. I mean, we had Donovan Dijak. That was an amazing interview. And now we're concluding it by bringing you guys the ECW legend, the manager of champions, Bill Alfonso. And man, what a great interview this was. Definitely a great interview for myself, but it was an awesome interview for my man, the voice, Josh Joseph, who is a huge fan of Bill Alfonso, a huge ECW fan, and this was just great for him. I was happy to put him in position to have such a great interview. And guys, he knocked it out of the park. We talked about a lot of things. We talked about his career. We talked about everything. We also had a drop-in from Sandman. That was crazy. But so many questions asked by the voice, Josh Joseph. But I'm not going to keep talking here. I'm just going to let you listen to it. So without further ado, listen to our conversation from June 29th, 2024 at Every Child Wins House of Heat Wrestling in Lafayette, Indiana, where myself and the voice, Josh Joseph, talked to ECW legend, the manager of champions, Bill Alfonso. What's up, household? My name is Alakon the Concept House. These are my co-hosts, Hypocrisy Jones and the voice, Josh Joseph. And we're getting ready to give you a banger of a podcast. Yes, the In Your Howse Podcast. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the In Your Howse Podcast. I am, of course, Alakon, the Concept House, and I am here with my co-host, the voice, Josh Joseph.
And I'm the manager of champions, Daddy, on...
Oh, Bill Alfonso, the ECW legend, is here on In Your Howse, and it is
In Your Howse, Daddy. Thanks for having me on your broadcast, man.
It is great to see you,
Glad
Bill.
to be here.
Yes,
Congratulations on what you're doing, man.
Oh,
Thank
thank
you
you
so much.
We've been doing it. I started this podcast about 5 years ago, and we've been doing it ever since. I've talked to a lot of different talent, a lot of great talent from different promotions and from the past and future. But one thing is I really wanted to get you specifically because of what I do. I'm a manager around the local area, and I always wanted to pick somebody like yours, brain, because you are the manager of champions, because you are pivotal in ECW, an absolute legend, and we wanted to pick your brain and get some of your thoughts.
I don't know about legend, but I've been around a long time, Daddy.
I'll say legend. You don't have to, I would.
Very good. Thanks, Daddy. I'll take it.
Yeah, we've got some great questions that my co-host has lined up for you, so I'm going to go ahead and throw it to my man, the voice, Josh Joseph. What do you got?
Come on, Josh. What do you got, Daddy?
So, Bill Alfonso, what got you interested in wrestling to even begin with? I know you started off as a ref, then worked your way into a manager position of champions. What started that spark for you?
Well, I didn't know. I was born and raised in Tampa, Florida, and Florida was a hotbed for professional wrestling. I knew nothing about it. My dad came home with 2 comp tickets. He had lunch with the sports editor for the Tampa Tribune, and Florida Championship Wrestling with Gordon Soley and Eddie Graham and Dusty. They used to put an ad in their paper, so they comped the newspaper tickets. So my dad came home with 2 tickets and said, "Hey, Billy, I got tickets for wrestling." I said, "What's that?" Never seen it on TV, never watched it. So I said, "Damn, let me get curiosity got me, let me go check this out." So I go to wrestling my first night. There's Eddie Graham with the blonde hair, Bobby Shane and Dusty and Gordon. I fell in love with the business that day. Been loving it ever since.
Wow, it shows. It really shows in your work, just the way you are.
And at first I wanted to wrestle, but I was a $155. Now I'm 165.
I know the feeling.
So that was good in a way because I worked my way into refereeing, and it gave me longevity. A lot of guys wrestle, they got plastic hips, they get surgery, they get hurt.
Yeah.
I got longevity. 44 years later, I'm still doing it.
Yep.
You know, I'm still traveling around the country and doing shows and Comic-Cons and WrestleManias and podcasts. I'm still having a great time.
Man.
And thank God I didn't become a wrestler because I, might have had a 10-year career, not a 44 years.
For sure.
Yeah.
You know, I'm sorry to interject.
go
I'm
ahead.
just saying what you said there. It just really resonated with me. The fact that you're still having fun doing it, man,
Yeah.
even 44 years later. I just think that's so important. And like, I can feel that energy off of you. Like when I first got a chance to just walk up to you and meet you, I'm like, this guy is straight energy, a pure vibe, somebody that you just want to be around. And like, I love it. And that energy exuded through ECW.
Well, I'm passing it forward. That's what guys did for me when I was a young boy, 20 years old when I broke in 1980 and got my full-time job. I got to meet guys like they were finishing up their career. They had been in the business already. So I got to meet guys like Bobo Brazil and The Sheik and, Eddie Graham and these legendary guys.
Yeah.
So, and they helped me along the way. So I'm paying it forward with what they did for me 40 years ago. I'm doing now to the young guys and the nice talent like you guys.
Yes.
I'm passing it forward and having a great time doing it. And I asked the promoters, why are you guys bringing me in all the time? Because they like you in the dressing room. You're, you talk to all the guys. You help out. You watch the matches. You give pros and cons. So I feel like I'm paying it back.
That's
Love
awesome.
it. Love that answer.
That's
boys.
great to hear. How do you feel about the current state of refs and managers, like in the big 3 right now? Is it?
Well, it's an evolution. It's changed.
Yeah.
Back when I was a kid and used to go to wrestling and watch it, there was a guy, J.C. Dykes, and you probably never heard of him, managers. But, the evolution changes the business. Now it's called sports entertainment.
Yeah.
Wrestling, Vince wants the doctor, his wife, and the 2 kids at ringside. Back in the day, it was 90% male, middle class, and you didn't know if wrestling was real or what it was,
Yes.
Oh, yeah. And we were like a secret society. Wrestling was real protected back then. But now, it's been sports entertainment now.
Yeah.
We're entertainers. I'm not a bad guy, I'm not a good guy. I'm an entertainer, I'm a character.
Yeah.
Well, you said you didn't wrestle, but there is a famous match that you had with.
Oh, I
Bill.
know where I beat that Beula's ass. I was bled to death, man. I didn't
You
get rushed to
were.
the hospital.
You were.
If you ask Paul Heyman, name a couple of your favorite matches, he'll say Fonzie and Beulah, 2 non-wrestlers. That's one of his favorite matches in ECW.
One of my favorite ECW matches. I
Danny.
actually rewatched it 3 times this week.
2 non-wrestlers, and we tore the house down.
Thank you for
We
saying that.
We tried to not. We didn't do a monkey flip.
Nope.
We didn't do this. We did that. We were, and it worked. And we're
Yeah.
still talking about it today. And if I didn't bleed that much, I probably wouldn't be brought up as much. But since I almost bled out, that was kind of helped the match. You know what I mean? So
I can
I'm
see
glad
where
I
you're
almost
going
killed myself.
What was your first thoughts when they proposed that to you? That match?
That's a good question.
I thought it was normal. I said, okay, fine. It made sense,
Yeah.
It made sense. 2 non-wrestlers, boy versus girl, and we made it work, I was afraid I wasn't going to be able to do it, But Paul Heyman said, hey, just go out there and be yourself, be Fonzie.
Yeah.
And that's what I did, you know. I mean, you didn't see me throw monkey flips and do this and all that.
It's
You know,
exactly what I
I'm
expected.
not a wrestler.
Yeah.
A wrestler.
You
And
did-
neither was he.
No, but
He
you.
was a famous freaking adult star,
Yeah, no
you know,
fair.
of House Centerfolds
Yeah.
Red and all that. She was pretty cool, pretty hot too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that match, I know it sticks out in a lot of fans' minds, but yes, exactly what you said. Two non-wrestlers going that limit was just incredible to me. I only have a couple more questions for you, but do you consider...
Hey, don't wrap me up, Daddy. I can
Oh,
talk all
good,
night
good.
long.
I love it. I
Maybe
love
only
it.
got two more questions. I'm Bill Alfonso.
I love it.
I'm fucking with you. Go ahead.
Do you consider the 97 invasion angle of ECW going into Monday Night Raw? Do you consider that an actual benefit for ECW in that moment?
Any publicity is good publicity. Of course there was a benefit then. We got on national TV. We were a struggling small company, but we were, you know, we made it work. We were a small company with small money. The problem with ECW, we were bringing in $15 million a year, but we were spending 16. We had no corporate sponsors, and then to get on Vince's show, Monday Night Raw, and so on. Hey, Sandman Daddy.
Whoa,
Look what we got here.
whoa.
My man, the Sandman.
The Sandman.
Holy cow.
Yeah.
Everybody, this is incredible.
Hey, Sandman.
Sandman's hardcore, Daddy.
Hardcore.
He's
Sandman,
a chair
thanks for coming on,
swinging,
man.
beer
Hey, I'm
drinking
here.
freak.
I'm begging to get out of here, though, Fonzie. Where's my spot on this match? Jesus.
This is incredible.
He's been traveling his ass off the last month. We've been to about 15 different states.
Yeah.
Oh, sure.
Man.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure you guys
He
are
needs to
tired.
take a
I'm ready
break.
for night-night.
I know that's right. Night is always great. Always great. So we're going to continue this going. We just got a Sandman drop. That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's amazing here. But
Thanks,
once again,
Sandman.
But once again, Bill Alfonso is our focus here, and we really want to get back into that and dive back into that. Man, I want to jump real quick and give a question, man,
Okay.
and just think about it. So, like, we're seeing all of these like crowds that are really going crazy. WWE's going to these international places. We're seeing crazy crowds and ruckus crowds. We've been watching a lot of past ECW events and just the vibes that they are. I know we've seen great crowds and stuff now, but that ECW crowd was ruckus, crazy, just completely different from anything else. What can you speak to for just the pure energy and the vibe that crowd created around ECW?
Well, they never seen anything like it. They
Yeah.
never seen anything like ECW. Either did I. I mean, I was in Florida Championship Wrestling with Gordon Soley and Dusty and Eddie Graham and all those guys. It's pretty, you know, solid old school. Then I went to WCW and worked with them. It's all entertainment. And then I went to WWF for WrestleMania 9, Caesar's Palace and all that stuff. It was great. But when ECW came around and introduced blood, guts, and chairs and tables and all that shit, man, people hadn't seen nothing like it. You know, suicidal, homicidal, genocidal Sabu and Van Dam with those damn great legs and doing all kind of spectacular stuff. And the guys like Sandman come out drinking beer, smoking a cigarette. Who the fuck does that? You know what I mean?
It was
Damn.
good,
So
yeah.
we were different. We were different, and we made a difference.
yeah.
And we still, ECW's still got a cult-like following.
Yes.
I'm
Oh,
not
yeah.
here sitting in this chair because I was an international 5-star referee, refereed Fujinami and Ric Flair in front of 65,000 people at the Tokyo Dome. I'm not here because of that. I'm here because of ECW.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's
It's crazy
fantastic.
that we got a cult-like following.
Yeah.
It's
Wherever we go, look at the hat. you
Lightning
know?
in a bottle. Lightning in a bottle is
Yeah.
what that was, and it was just a vibe to see and just take that in.
And we were compatible to WWF at the time.
Yes.
WCW.
Yes, you guys
know, we were the
absolutely
third
were.
company.
That cool third company that, and I think I was just saying this to my son. I was like, the way the young crowd looks at like GCW and stuff like that. That's very much.
GCW,
yeah.
I've done some stuff with them.
Yeah, that's very much how people saw ECW back then. Like, you wasn't like, you don't really know wrestling if you don't know ECW.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? But it was just that cool cult-like vibe, like you said, and it just created that great dynamic that we still talk
And
about.
there's a lot
to this
of
day.
small companies like MLW. I just
Yes,
signed a 3-day
yes.
contract with them. I'm doing a show in Tampa, Atlanta, somewhere else.
That's awesome.
And they're kind of a spin-off. They're their own entity, but they're kind of a ECW spin-off. So is GCW. There's several smaller companies that trying to create something different.
Yeah.
And you know, but they get it from us, not us. So ECW was the father of that hardcore stuff.
Yes, what a vibe. Voice.
Well, going off of that, was there a moment during the run of ECW where you guys in the locker room and you personally was like, we just stuck a thorn in WWE's side. They have to notice us now. They have to respect.
Well, we
what
started
we're
getting
putting out
buy rates on our pay-per-views. We did the first pay-per-view. We did 22 pay-per-views, and I was on 21 of them.
Yeah.
And we did really well. I knew once we started doing pay-per-views, turn the page for the good. I said, okay, here we go. First pay-per-view, and then we had good buy rates, and the second one was better, and so on and so on. We'd get good buy rates. So I knew we were doing something right. Paul Heyman was he loves the business as much as I do or more. He's very talented. Todd Gordon, the founder of ECW, is one of my best friends today. I talk to him every week. He lives in Philadelphia and still affiliated. If you guys get a chance, read his book. He's got put a book out. It's really good.
Awesome. Yeah, I'll check that out.
You definitely got to check that out, no doubt, man. I just love everything that I'm hearing, man, because like listening to you talk, like I'm hearing you, but I'm also studying what you're saying as well, because I'm taking it in and soaking it in, and I want to apply it to what I do as a manager, as a commentator, and things like that. And I'm just always incredibly like grateful to learn from like greats like you, great minds in the business. So this is a great opportunity for me to just listen to you talk and do your thing, man.
Exactly what you're saying. That's what I said 40-something years ago. I said, oh, I'm learning, I'm listening, I'm doing this, I'm listening to Bobo Brazil and Jack Briscoe and Arnie Race and Dory Funk Jr. and all these guys that I grew up watching. So, you know, what goes around is a full circle.
Yeah, we appreciate you for it. We really do.
Yeah. What was the biggest difference in between management styles between RVD, Sabu, and Taz?
That's a hell of a
Because
question.
the Taz I seen you, it was a Heatwave '99. I
But
believe.
Taz had 4 or 5 gimmicks before he became Taz.
Exactly.
He was Tasmania, he was Monkey Boy, he was this and that. He never got over, not that I got him over, he became himself. Like, people who like me or like my character because I'm trying to not be somebody I'm not. I'm being myself out there. I'm a hyper type guy anyway, and so that adds to my character. Same with Taz. So when they put me together with Taz, he started getting over it, and he didn't need me no more because he could talk. But who didn't talk? Suicidal, homicidal, genocidal, Sabu. So they put me with him, and the rest is history. I was supposed to originally, Paul Heyman called me up, and I was supposed to come in because I just left WWF.
Okay.
And I told you this before, Vince wants the doctor, his wife, and the 2 kids at ringside. ECW is 90% fucking male, 19 to 32 years old, hardcore. So they wanted, Paul Heyman thought it'd be a good idea to bring in me because I just left. My contract was just over with WWF. To bring me in for 4 weeks and to be anti-ECW and me trying to change ECW into sports entertainment like WWF. Boy, the people fucking wanted to hang me. They wanted to kill me. Oh, they were trying to ruin their high. So, I disqualified, ring the bell because the table was used. Oh man, they wanted to kill me. And I was supposed to stay there for 4 weeks and get chokeslammed by 911, and then I was out. But my character got over so much heat. Paul Heyman said, Fonzie, we're going to turn you into a manager. I said, what? A manager? So at first I was having trouble doing promos. You would think I'd be a natural because I've been around the business 20-something years before with the ECW.
Yeah.
The big companies, the Ted Turner and Vince and all that, WrestleManias. So I was having trouble spitting out my promos at first. But then Paul Heyman and Todd said, hey, just treat it like a shoot. You know you're going to be at the ECW Arena July 1st. You know you're going to wrestle Tommy Dreamer. So I said, hey, Daddy, January 1st, Bill Alfonso and Tommy Dreamer, Daddy. It came natural, so I'll just tell the truth like it's a shoot. And then I started getting a little better and better, and now you can't shut me up.
Love it. We love it.
And I entertained, and I'm glad they gave me the chance, and that's why I'm here today again, because of ECW.
Love it, man. Most definitely love it.
What was your biggest personal takeaway from your career in ECW? Personally.
Damn, I don't know. my longevity there. I got to stay, been in the business 40-something years, so that's my biggest takeaway. And just to be a part of a new era in professional wrestling, and I got to be a big part of it, not a small part. I was in the main events with, Taz, RVD, and Sabu. I was all main event. I was lucky to be in the right place at the right time.
That's awesome. I've really enjoyed your being on Vice lately, like the Dark Side of the Ring episodes. I know I just watched the Sandman. You were in that one. How is it for you to see certain wrestlers like the Sandman, Sabu, RVD, to have that cult-like following, to have that love from fans like me?
It's pretty cool to be attached to something like that. Yeah. These guys are my best friends. We worked every weekend for 5 years. It's pretty cool to see guys like that explode and get recognition for what they do. Sabu was actually suicidal and homicidal. The stuff he does, man, he can barely walk now. These guys killed themselves. For, you know what I mean? They didn't have to, but they did. That was pretty cool to be a big part of that.
It's so inspiring to know how humble you are by sitting here and hearing you talk about your friends on such high levels.
After 44 years.
After 44 years. But at the end of the day, when people do bring up ECW, your name is in the top 10 because of what you contributed to. So with all that, me being, polite and saying that, who the hell told you to wear that leather jacket with Taz?
Right, Daddy? I don't know.
I was like, what is going on with Fonzie? This is insane. Why would Taz allow this to happen? But if I'm going to go any further, Taz wearing the leather cabbie hat.
Right?
Is he coming right out of Brooklyn?
He's a Brooklyn kid.
Yeah.
Red Hook.
Red Hook. Yes. I absolutely adored you in ECW. Like I said,
thank you.
When I met you earlier, I have a group of cousins that ECW was our lifeblood. That's what got us together in the summers. We scoured to get ECW tapes. We found out that you were the one blowing the whistle the whole time when we were young ages, and I actually have a whistle hanging in my studio.
That's pretty flattering to hear stuff like that and hear people say, that I was a part of that. It's pretty cool. You guys kind of grew up. You remember, we were on late at night. We were on odd channels. Sunshine Network that came on at 1 o'clock in the morning, and you guys were exchanging tapes, and you couldn't get it here and there, and that was pretty cool to be a part of that.
Yeah, it was an honor to just even sit here and know that I get to talk to you on those levels that what you did for this business, and it's a true.
Oh, thanks, Daddy.
Absolutely.
You want to talk about a few of my injuries?
Let's hear it.
All right. Well, I probably broken my ribs 4 or 5 different times. I broke my nose a couple of times. Broke this arm. There's 2 bones in, one bigger, one smaller. I broke it so bad that they had to put titanium and 9 screws in there. And I'm not talking just ECW, I'm talking in general. I was refereeing the match between Sergeant Slaughter and Wahoo McDaniel in the Greensboro Coliseum. And the finish was Sergeant Slaughter rolls out, grabs the belt, and brings it in. And Wahoo kicks him, grabs the belt, and goes to hit Slaughter. Slaughter ducks, and he hits the referee, which is me. But Slaughter was so big, and I was standing behind Sergeant Slaughter, he couldn't see me, so when Slaughter moved and he hit me, he busted me open, and I got 40. You don't want to hear this from a paramedic. How is it okay? Is it bad? Oh my God, it's terrible.
You don't want to hear that.
You want to hear? Oh, it's not too bad, kids. But I ended up getting 44 stitches and staples right in here.
My God.
I almost bled to death. We just talked about the Bill Alfonso match. All pretty good, all part of the business, but a lot of injuries. My back's a little fucked up, but can you imagine the wrestlers? Most of my wrestling buddies, Hogan's had 11 back surgeries, 11, and all he did was stop the big leg. You didn't go to no fucking tables. God bless Hulk Hogan. So my wife's a nurse, and so we go to Christmas parties and shit. There's doctors and everything around. And then where everybody's talking, and oh, what do you do, Fonzie, for a living? And I say, oh, sports entertainment. You say, oh, what's that? And I say one word, Hulk Hogan. Oh, everybody knows Hulk Hogan, you know, so that's my go-to guy. But the injuries come with the territory, you know what I mean? So all the guys, if I was a wrestler like we talked about earlier, thank God I wasn't, I'd, you know, be injured out. But I got that longevity, man, but still got my ass kicked and broken bones, and just was the referee and manager, you know?
Yep. Man, we really appreciate your time coming on here, man. It was a vibe. The manager of champions.
Congratulations, guys. Doing what you're doing. A lot of you entertain a lot of people, and I'm proud of you guys. You keep up the good work. I heard you guys got like 20,000 listeners sometimes.
Oh, yeah, we've got a lot of listeners.
That's fucking great.
Growing.
That's great. Good for you guys.
Yes.
Do I get a royalty check for doing this?
If ever one comes in.
Okay.
Hey, everybody comes in, make sure you come and listen so we can get this man paid, all right?
Hey, if you guys want to sponsor sponsor this podcast, get a hold of us, and we're looking for sponsors because that's, you know, and listen, we got 20, 30,000 people listening, and you want to sponsor us, hey, we'll put your ass on the map, man.
Yeah, that's right, that's right.
Yeah, we like sponsors. Don't be afraid not to call us.
Yes.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Takes a little money to be in this stuff. It's not free.
No,
Equipment, we got 5-star equipment. You know what I mean?
Yes, man. Yes. Ladies and gentlemen, Bill Alfonso, manager of champions, ECW legend. Once again, thank you so much.
Yeah. In your house with O'Con. Hey, O'Con, in your house. Hollywood in your house. Hypocrisy's head in the clouds. Curating all kind of loud. Wrestling in front of the crowds. Paragon's holding it down. Anybody can get it. Josh Joseph standing on his decisions. He is the voice. There is no choice. We is them boys in your house making wrestling noise. Moving fast, it's like cruiserweight action. In your house is the perfect distraction. Pumpers in your ears when you in traction. Get this work with some wrestling action. Smoke.